She's coming, incoming. Um, Welcome to the Town Board of the Town of Austin regular meeting for Tuesday, January 28th, 2020. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing after the pledge for a moment. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yesterday, Alfonso D. Cesaris passed away. Mr. D. Cesaris was a prolific painter in Ossining. We were surrounded by his work here in the courthouse and in so many of our offices and public spaces in Ossining. We thank Mr. D. Cesaris for capturing the our community and being so generous with his works by donating them to the Ossining Historical Society, Ossining Public Library, I believe the Ossining Police Department, and municipal offices. He will certainly live on in his work. Observe a moment of silence. Now for a roll call.
Councilmember Feldman,
Present.
Councilmember Shaw,
Present.
Councilmember Mayer,
Present.
Councilmember Wiltshire,
Present.
Supervisor Levenberg.
I am here. So we'll go into announcements. Everything good?
Yeah,
We're
we're
good?
having fun.
You guys want us to kick off the announcements?
No, we're good.
Okay. So we received and shared an update on Friday from the Village of Ossining Water Department regarding the smell and taste issues many residents have been experiencing in recent weeks. You may have noticed that the water has gotten better tasting, but unfortunately it's not going to remain long, but then hopefully we'll get that delicious taste back. So here's what they have to say. Beginning on January 8th, in response to reported taste and odor issues, Ossining began drawing 100% of the community's water supply from the Indian Brook Reservoir. Since that time, we have contracted for and initiated the design of a powder-activated carbon system that will address these and similar issues in the future. Powder-activated carbon, PAC, used in many home filtration systems, is added to the water at the beginning of the treatment cycle and is then removed during the filtration process. Residents can expect for this new treatment process to be fully operational within 6 weeks. We have been continuously monitoring the Indian Brook Reservoir levels and have now tapped the reservoir to 50% capacity on this site. We are thankful to have had this water source as a backup while the system flushed itself out. Starting at midnight on Sunday, January 26th, we will be reintroducing the Croton Reservoir water back into our system. During this time, you may continue to detect taste and odor issues. However, within the next 6 weeks, we anticipate significant improvements concurrent with the use of the powder-activated carbon system. This taste and odor condition has never been experienced during the 33 years of the water treatment plant operation. Further, this is not an issue specific to Ossining, but rather one that has affected all municipalities that draw from the Croton Reservoir. Despite the taste and odor, the water has been and remains safe to drink. We appreciate your patience and apologize for any inconvenience. Please contact the Indian Brook Water Filtration Plant with any questions at 914-941-0128. So thank you to the Village of Ossining, especially Water Superintendent Andy Teese and Village Manager Karen Dottori for keeping us updated regarding this situation. Yesterday, I joined County Executive Latimer and many local electeds and representatives from Westchester municipalities for an official kickoff of the U.S. Census 2020. As we have discussed at our first work session of the year, the census is mandated by the U.S. Constitution to take place every 10 years. Over $880 billion federal dollars are distributed based on census figures, and I do not believe that that even includes what happens at the state and county levels. Also, our representation in the county and in New York State and Washington is determined by the census count. Aid to Schools also uses the census count as part of the formula. So it is critically important that when you get your letter in the mail in March, you respond and answer the 9 simple questions you will be asked. Stay tuned for lots and lots of reminders from us as we work to get the count right. And speaking of reminders, here's another one. We are down to the last few days of school tax collection. Your second half school taxes for the Ossining and Briarcliff school districts are due on January 31st. You can make payment in person, by mail, make sure you witness the postmark, or online at townofossining.com. Do be wary of online bill pay services from your bank. Those mail pieces are not postmarked, and if your check arrives after January 31st, you will have to pay a penalty. You can also use the dedicated mail slot at the Ossining Post Office. The tax office will be open extended hours this Thursday, January 30th and Friday, January 31st from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please call 914-762-8790 or email receiver Holly Perlowitz at hperlowitz@townofossining.com. This is a tax payment you do not want to be late on, as the penalty is 10%. Holly and her team are happy to help you come up with a strategy to ensure your payment is made timely, and they will also come downstairs if you have any problems coming up to see them. You can also sign up for direct messages from Holly at our Town of Ossining website at townofossining.com. The Ossining School District's Saturday Explore and Learn series continues this Saturday, and it has been extremely popular. Check out the many fun offerings they have for the whole family at ossiningufsd.org. Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff's annual town meetings have kicked off. They started last weekend and they will continue this weekend, and then also Thursday, February 6th at 7 p.m. There will be one at the Briarcliff Manor Library, which is the one that's closest to us. Think you know everything about Ossining? Test your Ossining knowledge at the Ossining Trivia at Sing Sing Kill Brewery Night on Wednesday, January 29th, starting at 7:30 p.m., hosted by village historian Dana White. And I hear town historian Scott Craven might also make a special guest appearance with some questions focusing on Hudson River trivia. This event is free to enter and is sure to get pretty competitive. The Ossining Parent Leadership Group is hosting a Unity Through History family conference for all on Friday, January 31st from 6 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. at Park School. If you're interested in attending, contact Marcella 11 at 762-5850, extension 6365. That's it for me. Anybody have announcements? No? Okay. Hearing none, we will go on to the liaison report.
Okay.
Okay.
There was a rec advisory board meeting yesterday, and one of the newest things is that a recreation supervisor, I'm not sure if that's the exact title, was hired and will be starting next week. And what I understand, the person will kind of be a second in command at the rec center, so they'll be in charge of programming, and they will be opening up the rec center on Sunday. So there will be Sunday programming, probably more so in the spring as the person gets up to speed.
That's it. Okay. So moving right along, we will go to public comment on agenda items only. Anybody here to talk to the board about agenda items? All right. None? We're going to move right into our board resolutions.
Approval of minutes, regular meeting, January 14th, 2020. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the January 14th, 2020 minutes of the regular meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion? All those in favor?
Actually, I don't
What did you miss?
believe Councilman Wiltshire was at that meeting.
Regular meeting?
The reorg meeting? I don't think
Oh,
he
it's a
was
reorg.
there.
That was the,
Oh, no, I wasn't.
okay.
A second.
He can
then.
still, oh, who seconded, who moved and who
I
seconded?
moved.
Okay, so
Okay,
Councilwoman
second.
Shaw will second and Councilman Wiltshire. And everybody else is in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Approval of minutes, special meeting, January 21st, 2020. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the January 21st, 2020 minutes of the special meeting as presented.
I have a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Just to make mention, I forgot, Councilman Wiltshire, I don't know if you know, but at the reorg meeting, we appointed you to be liaison to all
Everything.
of the committee, all the different groups, because you weren't here, so.
You
That's
just
what
get to do
happens when
everything.
Okay, just, I forgot to let you know that. Just joking. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Okay. Next up, we're up to C.
Approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the voucher detail reports dated January 28, 2020 in the amount of $629,646.07.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any highlights you want to highlight? Oh, this is a big one. It's because there's still cleanup from 2019 plus then some new stuff in 2020. It includes our big it includes some of the pieces that of the playground equipment that we got at the end of the year. It includes
Fire IMA.
fire IMA, right? A whole bunch of our big IMAs, as well as there was one other big thing that was in my head. Tyler?
Yeah, there were a few payments to
Tyler
Tyler
Figueredo.
Technologies
Right.
relating to the revaluation,
Right.
as well as our health insurance payment for February and a refund to the village for the
Dog
Dog
park
license.
licenses.
Yeah.
Right. That was the other. I knew there was something that was on my mind. That was it. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Stormwater Management System Maintenance and Easement Agreement, Artist Senior Living. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Austin hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute a stormwater management system maintenance and easement agreement with Artist Senior Living Holdings of Barcliff Manor, LLC.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
So this agreement is one of the conditions that was part of Artist Senior Living's site plan approval. It has been reviewed and approved by our town engineer, Dan Ciarcia, so hopefully we're good to go as long as we give our blessing to it as well. All those in favor? Aye.
Resignation Ethics Board. Resolved that the town board hereby accepts with regret the resignation of Christopher Comosa from the Town Ethics Board effective January 28th, 2020.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So we recently learned that Chris Camosa, who had served on our ethics board for many years, is moving out of town and can no longer continue to serve in this role. We thank him for his years of volunteer service to our community, and we wish him and his family well on their move to their new house. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Appointment Ethics Board. Resolved that the town board hereby appoints Daniel Collado to complete an unexpired term on the Town Ethics Board ending December 31st, 2023.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. So the good news is that we found an excellent candidate to fill the unexpired term of Mr. Camosa. Daniel Collada and his family recently moved to Ossining, where his wife had grown up, and his professional background as an attorney specializing in ethics issues relating to federal employees makes him an excellent fit for this board. I'm sure our community will greatly benefit from his volunteerism. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Letter of intent to participate. Westchester County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a letter of intent to participate in the Westchester County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Do I have a motion? So we were invited to participate in this multi-jurisdictional planning effort, which is funded by a grant to Westchester County. I believe it's a federal grant. I think the first round of this plan was introduced after Hurricane Sandy, and we just recently signed on to be a part of it. We had to do that so that we could be part of the new hazard mitigation plan. So having just gotten to the end of that one, which we signed on to, we are now preparing to move into participating in this next one. And the good news is that if we are faced with an unexpected disaster, hopefully by being part of this mitigation plan, there will be resources and practical information that are available to us in the event of any sort of hazard or disaster. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So we do have one resolution that we'd like to add. It's a last minute resolution, and it's not basically, I'll just tell you what it is. It's a late addition to the agenda, but given that yesterday was Holocaust Remembrance Day, we felt it was most appropriate to include this resolution as part of tonight's meeting, as opposed to our first legislative session in February. Now more than ever, it's important for us all to affirm our commitment to inclusivity and do all in our power to combat hate, all forms of religious discrimination, and xenophobia. To that end, we are working with our partners in the Village of Ossining, Ossining Public Library, and the NAACP to form a community equity task force and we look forward to announcing programming and other initiatives in 2020. We must all do our part to ensure Ossining remains a welcoming place for everyone. So since we just brought this to the table, why don't we read it first and then we can take a motion and then approve it? Does that sound a little out of order? Is that fine? Okay. So I think I'll just read it. That's okay with everybody. So it's resolution condemning anti-Semitism and hate in the town of Ossining. And the draft of this was just sent to us this afternoon by Westchester County. They suggested that there were a number of different communities that were approving resolutions like this, that they gave us a template to do so, and we just tailored it a little bit to our community. Whereas our nation was founded on the principles of religious freedom and the right of all people to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and whereas contrary to those principles, there has been a significant increase of violent anti-Semitic attacks throughout the United States, and particularly New York State's Hudson Valley region. And whereas the FBI notes that nationwide in 2014, 609 anti-Jewish hate crime incidents were reported. By 2018, that number increased nearly 40%. And whereas the FBI reports that nationally in 2018, there were 7,036 single bias related incidents that involved 8,327 offenses. Of those, 59.5% stemmed from a race, ethnicity, ancestry bias, 18.6% were motivated by religious bias, and 16.9% resulted from sexual orientation bias. Whereas according to the Anti-Defamation League, or ADL, which tracks anti-Semitic and other hate incidents, reported that anti-Semitic incidents were at historic levels in the United States in 2018. Occurrences of assaults alone were up 105% from 2017 to 2018. And whereas the ADL states that preliminary analysis of 2019 data shows that New York will have recorded the most anti-Jewish hate crimes since 1992, and whereas on December 28th, 2019, 5 people were tragically stabbed at Hanukkah celebration in Muncie, New York, in neighboring Rockland County, and whereas here in 2019 in Westchester County, we were enraged and heartbroken that on the eve of Yom Kippur, the highest of holy days of the Jewish faith, anti-Semitic materials were discovered at the county's Holocaust Garden of Remembrance. And whereas Westchester County communities have a long history of standing up, speaking out, and protecting human rights, and here in the town of Ossining, town and village of Ossining are beginning a process to form a community equity task force of concerned stakeholders to develop a plan of action focused on sustaining Ossining's culture of compassion and kindness and responding effectively to actions which impact the comfort and safety of all residents. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Ossining is appalled by the anti-Semitic attacks here at home and on our Rockland County neighbors, and we stand in solidarity with the people of Yorktown and Muncie and in rejecting all forms of bigotry, hatred, or discrimination of any kind. And be it further resolved that hate will have no home in the town of Ossining. We are committed to promote openness, inclusion, freedom, and mutual understanding by ensuring all people who live, work, and visit, regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin, or immigration status, may live free from violence, harassment, or prejudice. Our town will make every effort to ensure that our community is one where all people are welcome, included, and respected. And be it further resolved that the town will work with other levels of government and community groups to root out hate and promote understanding. We encourage fellow municipalities to join this resolution and to join forces in ensuring that the vile history of anti-Semitism and other forms of intolerance in New York and around the world ends now and ends here. And be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution shall be forwarded to the Westchester County Board of Legislators and Executive's Office and all those deemed necessary and proper so that the intent of our elected leaders is widely known. Do I have a motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much for that. Correspondence to be received and filed. We have none this week. So we can move into visitor recognition. And Mr. Dorsonville, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again. My name is Stanley Dorsonville. I'm the district representative from Senator Carlucci's office. I have 2 quick announcements. First being tomorrow at the Ossining Public Library, we will be hosting our Narcan training that will assist folks of the community in learning how to use, how to revive someone who is going through the issues of I guess the right word should be like drug
Overdose.
abuse,
No,
an
overdose.
overdose, exactly. So the training will be happening
What time is
tomorrow
that?
at 6:30 at the library. It's free. All the resources will be provided for free, and the training will be happening there, as I mentioned, for free. So please do come on by. It's a great opportunity to learn something new that could be of great assistance to your neighbors. Also, on February 6th at 6:30 p.m. in the Ossining Library will be the Student Advisory Council meeting. We have distributed flyers to the local Briarcliff and Ossining high schools. So if you have not yet seen the flyer and you are watching GOTV and you are an attendee of both either Briarcliff High School or Ossining High School, please make your way down. It'll be great for you to learn about what happens in New York State Senate level as we prepare for high school students to go up to Albany to act as a state senator. So yeah, it'd be great if you could come on by. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So with that, I think I have nothing more except that I would ask if we could have a motion to adjourn into executive session for advice of counsel, personnel, and contracts. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, fantastic. Thanks everyone for joining us. And next week, Tuesday, February 4th, we will be at 16 Croton Avenue for a work session. We hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.